everybody. Welcome to the What a Life podcast. Real life, real talk kind of sisters. I'm one of your hosts, Jalen.
And I'm Jaden.
And this is part 2 of our first episode, or first episode.
Yeah.
We were recording and it got to 40 minutes. And so we were like...
We had a lot to say, apparently.
Yeah. We're really talkative today. We're in a good mood, So now we're just going to continue on with the first. So if you didn't watch the previous episode, go do that. You're going to be so lost. Actually, you won't. But
yeah, you probably won't, but
just watch it and support us because we're really cool and we like you. So cool.
And we also have Flynn joining us today.
Yes,
so
we do have Flynn.
If you see a tail walking by, or if you're listening, you hear heavy breathing or panting, it's just the dog. So don't be alarmed. We're okay. Yeah. He's right up my face. All right, so I think we should just jump right into the questions because it's part 2. I'm sure you guys are interested in hearing the rest. So first one, we'll start off, simple again. First pet.
For sure. First pet. I was going to say a guinea pig, but I only had that for the weekend. It was
you
like
had
a class
guinea
pet.
Pig?
No, it was a class pet and we had it for the weekend.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to hear?
I always wanted a guinea pig.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, I do.
I was going to say, so my old school, our school mascot was the principal's ferret. And and they would bring in this ferret, and it was like everyone's favorite thing. The day that the ferret came in, the whole school knew. It came around each class, and we got to hold it. Yeah, it was a white ferret. And I'm pretty sure people got to, hold. I don't think people could bring it home because it was the principal's, but we had a school ferret.
Ferret?
Yeah, the long, skinny-nosed animals. Ferret.
Ferrets are terrible. They're disgusting.
I mean, this one was kind of sweet, but yeah, no. I get what you're saying. Ferrets are kind of creepy.
No. But my first pet was a goldfish. It was actually another class pet that the teacher was leaving, and so she just gave him to my sister.
Oh.
And so we were like, oh, he's going to die soon because goldfish don't live long. Yeah. We had him for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. His name was Goldie.
Goldie the goldfish.
Creative.
Mine was also a pet fish, and it was a betta fish because, it's known, goldfish, goldfish fishes. Is that how you say the plural?
Goldfi.
They don't live long. So we got betta fishes, and his name was Squishy. Squishy the fish. And I actually dropped Squishy behind our piano, and it lived. Don't ask me how I did that. But it fell.
How did you drop him?
I don't know. It used to live on top of our piano, and it fell, and I was like, no, Squishy.
Did you take him out?
I don't remember. All I remember is it was in the tank, and then it was out, and it was behind the piano, and then it lived another long way. But yeah, I had a fish named Squishy. And that was that.
That's so funny.
But yeah.
You dropped your fish.
I don't know how I dropped him. We don't ask questions.
Okay.
Apparently I dropped him.
My
word. All right. First love. This one's kind of sweet.
Oh, okay. We were talking about this. Okay. I don't know. Because I think it was not one of my first crushes. Because it was an extended, a long crush, and it was off and on.
Yeah.
But I think in the long run, looking back on my life, at least now, I would say that he was my first love.
Yeah. I feel like there's different levels, obviously, of people's first love. There's your first, real, adult-ish love, where, you truly, love them. And then there's, the kid love, where it's that's I love them.
I think it was, more of, a kid kind of love.
Yeah.
But, creeping up on the adult kind of love. But definitely not the adult kind of love.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love adult versus kid.
Adult versus kid. Remember when in school my mom came in for a chapel? So every Friday I think we used to have chapel, and guest people would come in and speak, and she talked about love, and she gave the analogy. She was like, we all say we love pizza. We don't throw around the word love because we don't love pizza versus another person, do you? Do you truly know what love means? And she gave this whole talk, and I remember that was the time where I was in my first love era, and I was like, she totally knows, and she's totally calling me out.
Oh wait, that reminds me. Okay, so it wasn't my first love, but the guy we've been referring to as my first crush, the guy who proposed to me and I denied. my mom did find out, and we had tea together.
You had tea?
We had tea to talk about it.
Tea
I mean,
party?
I literally don't like tea, so I was like, this is so strange. This is so weird.
Huh. Oh, I thought you meant you and him and your mom had tea.
No.
I was like, okay.
No, me and my mother had tea.
Gotcha.
And she was like talking to me about all this. Like, she was like, oh, do you like him? Like, tell me a little bit. Or yada, yada, yada. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say that he was my first love.
Yeah.
I think I kind of just wanted to be friends with him.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, he's such a weirdo. And I was like, no, he's not.
I mean, as we heard in episode 1, you professed your love to him in a card. So I think you did love him.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, the card said
He's
so.
my first love.
It's so funny.
I don't know. I feel like that's a very gray area.
Yeah, it is.
Try to describe. But.
Yeah. My first love was my, like, first official crush, I guess. That wasn't like I want to be, like, friends with them. Like, my first actual crush. And, yeah, I don't, like, it's funny thinking about that because, like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, are there, like, funny stories you share with that? Like, he was my first love. It's my first, like, official crush, but
yeah. I don't have any funny stories. Actually, there are plenty of funny stories.
There are plenty if I think about them, I guess. But
there was one time that you reminded me. He was moving schools, and you wrote me a note.
I wrote you a note?
No. The guy who was my first love.
What?
Not you.
I know, I was like,
please don't ever write me a note. Oh, gosh.
Noted.
No.
Oh, my goodness, noted.
You're so funny.
That was too good.
Oh my gosh. It didn't affect me because I'm not a very emotional person.
Yeah. That's
about as funny as the stories get.
I mean, if I'm thinking about it, like, I knew that they were my first love just because we, like, talked all the time and the person ended up moving. And I remember, have I told you that story?
I need to know the story first.
Okay, so they were moving and we both, like, always talked about, like, Tarzan. I guess we, like, love Tarzan.
The movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, the movie you haven't seen. But they were moving and I was, like, devastated because, like, I mean, they were my first love. And I remember the night that they were moving, I, like, slept on my floor and I put Tarzan on and I bawled the whole night. I was bawling because I was like,
oh my gosh.
I was like, they're leaving and I'm never going to see them again.
The difference in our personalities just revealed in that story.
It was crazy.
Jaden cries on the floor. Jalen reads note, laughs it off.
It's so funny.
Oh,
but
that's wild.
And then I remember my parents, because you said, like, your mom found out and she had tea with you.
Yeah.
Mine, I remember we had, like, a family meeting because they called me out. Because, okay, at this point when I had my first love, I was not allowed to even text boys.
Oh, same.
Wasn't allowed to,
there
like,
had to be another person in the group chat.
So I wasn't allowed to text them. So your girl found a loophole because I wasn't allowed to text. So I emailed. So we would email back and forth and, like, literally I'd sit there, send the email, and I'd wait for the email notification. And that's how we communicated. And we tried to keep it a secret, funny. But I don't think it was.
That's so
And
funny.
my parents pulled me aside and they were, like, had a really deep conversation with me about love. And, like, how, like, what love is and, like, how, like, I'm still young and, like, I don't really, like, understand all of that yet. And, like, how that's, like, for when you're older. And I remember, like, it was so scary because I was like,
so
I don't know what to do. Like, it was crazy.
I mean, like, sweet. Like,
yeah.
Good of them.
Yeah.
But, like, that's so funny.
Yeah, it was sweet if you look back. Now, I was just, like, at the time, I was like, no,
Yeah.
like, you don't get it.
You don't
understand what I'm going through. Oh, my.
Your dog is literally going
He's
crazy.
going nuts. I don't know what he sees.
Why is he?
Do you see something? Here, get your strawberry. Go on, go get it. Okay. Anyways, next question. Let's do... Okay, we just talked about first love. Let's talk about first heartbreak.
Jada, what's your first heartbreak? I feel like you kind of already told us.
Yeah, I think my first heartbreak would be when they moved. When that person moved. Like, at a young age. I think that was, like, the first... I don't know.
Again, we were talking about this before. And I was telling Jaden how oftentimes in my past, I've been the heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Don't
they have t-shirts that say heartbreaker on them? I'm pretty
Christmas
sure
gift.
they do.
I don't know. I think probably my first actual heartbreak, like crying on the floor kind of heartbreak, was recently.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, not actually even really that recently anymore.
Yeah. I don't think
wow, that's wild.
That is crazy.
But yeah, I would feel like in the past like 6 months.
Yeah. I feel like my like first like actual heartbreak was like, yeah, probably like kind of like the same situation to you. It would have been like recently. But I mean, as a kid, obviously you don't really know like heart. Yeah. I mean, some kids do. Some kids go through a lot.
You're probably really in tune with your emotions.
That's true. I've always been like an emotional person.
You were.
I cry a lot. I was actually talking to someone about this. I was like, I remember a few years ago, I was telling you guys, I was like, I think my heart's like hardened. Like I haven't cried in so long. I was watching TV shows, wasn't crying. Now I think I've cried like every day the past week over something. Whether I'm watching a TV show or I think about something and I just start crying, or I see a cute video on the internet and I'll cry. I don't know why. I've gotten really emotional.
Couldn't be me.
I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, I did spontaneously have a breakdown last week.
Okay. I mean,
I will say that I was in my feels, and then I got a cardboard paper cut on my finger, and I was just like, that was the last straw. I was like, I cannot.
That's so sad.
It was my whole family was gone too. It was literally just me. I was just like, done.
You should have texted me. I would have brought you like ice cream or guacamole.
I love guacamole.
All right, next one only you can answer. Your first tattoo.
Oh, my first tattoo. I always wanted a tattoo. I went to Cape Cod and I got my first tattoo. It was actually the God is within her on my wrist. I went with my ex. Which, I mean, it's not a bad memory. It was really fun.
Yeah,
we had fun time together. But yeah, we both got tattoos and it was really fun. And I actually got 2 that day. I came home and my mom thought I was only going to have 1 and I actually had 2.
Surprise.
And now I'm planning on getting more. Don't tell anybody. I have a whole list.
I'm supposed to be her accountability.
It worked.
That's actually true. You're not getting them soon, right?
Maybe we'll see.
Jalen.
No, but it was, you were supposed to make me wait to schedule until early March or something.
Okay, that's true.
And we're already at the end of March, and I haven't even scheduled anything. True. So, good job.
Thanks. Let's go.
But yeah, no, my tattoo, it was fun. It doesn't even hurt, guys. Really. It feels like if you've ever like tweezed your eyebrows or anything, it really just feels like that a lot. Because that's what the layer of skin it goes to. Mm-hmm. It doesn't hurt at all.
I want to get one so bad. Like, I tell Jalen this all the time. Like, I'm going to go this year. I have a really bad fear of needles, and I'm just terrified. I'm going to start and have, like, half of a word or design on my body, and then I'm going to walk out.
You just have to get something that after every letter, it's still something good.
That's true. What word was that?
G. Oh, go. God.
Go. Oh, I have no idea. But, yeah. Her tattoos are cool.
Yeah, I love my tattoos. I'm going to get so many more.
I'm not ready. No, I'm ready. They're going to look cool. She always sends me pictures, and I'm like, oh, this one's really cool. Okay. First phone.
My parents surprised me when I was 12 and a half. It was supposed to be 13 when you got your first phone. Mm-hmm. But I was 12 and a half because I got it because I was starting to play basketball.
Yeah.
And we were traveling, and so they said that I needed to be safe. But really, they could have contacted me if I didn't have a phone, but it was fine. I had a phone, so it was a great story.
I mean, hey, you got the phone, so. Yeah. I actually can't remember my first phone. I don't, like, I feel like.
Your question.
I know. Well, I was just thinking of first, but I can't remember my first phone. I think I had, like, an iPod type phone where it didn't actually make calls or anything. Mm-hmm. I just had it to, like, play games on, listen to music on, and then I think I was, like, 12 when I got my first one. Mm-hmm. But
I remember distinctly when I got my first Spotify account.
Really?
Yeah, like, my dad was like, okay, ladies, because everybody else in my family is a female. So he's like, okay, ladies, I got the Spotify family. And I was like, oh, I can have my own playlist, because forever you were listening to your parents' playlist. Yeah. Like, can you add that song or something?
Yeah.
So I had my own playlist, and it was full of Brit Nicole.
That's so awesome.
Everything was Brit Nicole, and I was like, this is fire. This is so good. In hindsight, no.
I didn't even know who Brit Nicole was until I met you guys, because that's like all you
Really?
listened to. It was
Oh,
Brit and
wow.
Nicole. But like thinking about that now, I remember like I used to have music on my iPod. That was like the one thing that and games that I did. And I used to listen to like the same songs. I used to have only like 2 Taylor Swift songs, 2 or 3, which was You Belong With Me and We Are Never Getting Back Together, I think. Which blows my mind, because I don't think we were technically like allowed to listen to Taylor Swift. But for some reason I could these 2 songs. And then it was the song from Wizards of Waverly Place, like the magic one. Have you heard that?
I think it's so funny how controversial Wizards of Waverly Place is among like Christians.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And I love
Wizards.
I love that you had that song on your playlist.
And then the song from Tinkerbell, I used to play that on repeat. I knew every word.
Oh, the fly to who?
Yeah,
Juliana loved that song.
I loved that one. But yeah, those were my beats as a kid. I loved them so much.
Those are my beats.
All right, next one. First, like, big kid store that you shopped at.
Jeez. Okay, so our mall wasn't really that good, first of all. But I remember when I was able to start shopping in, like, the juniors department. And specifically, I think the first, like, time was at JCPenney, in the JCPenney juniors department. I was like, oh, actually, or Kohl's, one or the other. And those are when I was like, oh, I'm a big kid now. That's the story.
Yeah. I feel like mine, we talked about this, was Rue 21, I think is the first store I can remember shopping at. That was like more like a junior style store. Because, I mean, Justice was the thing when we were kids. I think.
And we loved Justice because everything had a J on it. And we're Jalen and Jaden.
You could always find something with a J. And the matching jumpsuits were always, but Justice was so expensive. Yeah. Like, so expensive.
I had a Justice purse that I used every day. And I was like, I'm so cool, because it had J's all over. I was like, I can relate to this store. Like, everything in the store I can purchase. Anybody whose name doesn't start with J, this store is not for you. And I had my purse, and I was so proud of it.
That's
just me putting myself above everybody.
Yeah, it's all good.
Goodness.
All right, first sleepover.
See, I don't think I really remember. I remember it was a big deal, but I don't think I remember who or where. Yeah. But that's the story. I can't remember my first one. I know that like my parents have pictures from it that I've seen. But I do have a sleepover like memory. I remember being younger. So like I said, we weren't like what we were allowed to like watch and listen to was like pretty strict. And so like Disney like radio was like off limits. And I remember all my friends at school were allowed to listen to like Disney radio, Selena Gomez, like all of that. And I remember I went over to one of my friend's house for a sleepover, and they were having like a dance party with like Disney radio. And I remember I like had like a full-on panic attack, and I was crying because I was like, hey, I was like, can you guys like turn this off? I'm not allowed to listen to this stuff or watch it. And they were like, no, it's fine. It wasn't me, right? No, this was back. Yeah, this was like back. I think I was in like second grade or first grade. And I was like, can you guys like turn it off? And they were like, no, it's fine. Like, we're all allowed to like listen to this. And I remember I just started crying. I didn't know what to do. So, and in my head, I was like, I feel like a terrible daughter. Like, my parents are going to kill me. I'm listening to this. That's such a response I would have had, like, if it had happened at my house. Yeah. You'd be like, can you turn this off? I'm not allowed. I would have been like, it's fine. Yeah. You're fine. You're fine. Just listen to it. It's a great song. So then I went and found her mom, which her mom was amazing. And I was like, I remember I was crying, and she was like, honey, what's wrong? And I was like, they're listening to music I'm not allowed to listen to, and they won't turn it off. And she was like, okay, do you want me to do your nails? And she like did my nails with me, and it was so sweet. So yeah, it like turned out to be a good memory. But that's a good mom moment. It was. She was really sweet. She like always did our nails, and it's also funny because she would give away her daughter's stuff to her friend without her knowing. So like we'd go over to her house, and I remember like there was this looking back, I was like, Jaden, what the heck were you doing? There was this purse that was super cute, like a bunch of girls had it, and I was like, oh, I love this purse. And her mom was like, oh, take it, like she doesn't use it, like you can have it. And I was like, oh, sweet. So like I took her purse, and then she was like, what are you doing? That's my purse. And I was like, oh, your mom like gave it to me.
And it caused this like fight, and I was just in the middle, like, what do I do? But it was funny. She was sweet, but she was.
That's so funny.
It was so funny. I felt like such a bad friend.
You were. You're a terrible friend.
I know, terrible friend.
You've grown.
Right. I've grown. Yeah, I don't steal your stuff anymore. So, not anymore.
Yeah.
I don't steal your stuff. Period.
No, I steal your stuff.
That is true. You do. It's fine though. It's fine. Okay, I feel like we've gotten to like all the questions.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
I can't. Do you have any other firsts you can think of?
First. Do you remember your first day of school?
Yes.
Tell us about your first day of school.
Okay, my first day of school. So I don't remember my first day of school, but I remember my first day up here, which I don't know if we talked about it in the podcast where we talked about like our stories and stuff and how we met. But I remember that I was telling Jalen earlier. So one of the teachers was walking me around the school. And that same like bully that we were talking about in this story, one of our friends.
That we refer to him as a bully.
Yeah, I don't want to say his name, so I'm just gonna call him a bully. We know you're not a bully if you're listening.
No, but you're a bully.
But so she was walking us around, and he was the first person I met besides Jalen. So this was like my first impression of the kids at school, and she looked at him and she was like, "You hurt her, you mess with her, I'm going to kill you." Not actually, I don't think she said kill you, but along those lines. She was like, "I'm going to beat you up." And I remember in my head, I was like, and he like smirked. And I was like, why is he smirking? Why is she saying that? I was like, is he like known to like
is he
mess
gonna
with
hurt
people?
me?
I was like, what is happening? And I remember just walking away so confused. And I was like, where did I just move to? Like, what have I walked into?
Where am I?
But then the first day of school, I walked in. I don't remember like making eye contact with anyone because I was nervous. It was my first day. And I remember Jalen walked up to me with a painting that she had made for the teacher. It was a spaceship. And all the kids in the class were signing it. So she was like, "Oh, do you want to sign this painting?" And I didn't know it was for the teacher. So I thought you were just coming up to me asking me to like sign a painting. Really? And I was like, "Oh, this girl wants to be my friend. Like, I'm so honored."
Oh my God.
And then I signed it and you didn't say anything. You were just like, "Thanks." And like walked away. And I was like, "Oh, well, there's progress." We kind of talked.
That's so
But yeah,
funny.
that's all I remember.
My first day of school, I don't really remember either. I think I remember what I wore. I wore like so at the school there was a uniform, but in kindergarten you didn't have to wear the uniform, and I was like, that is so unfair. I want to wear the uniform. Lo and behold, like later I hate the uniform.
Yeah.
But I wore like a black pencil skirt and a red shirt, I think, and I was like, this is it. This is so good. Because the skirts were pencil skirts pretty much at that point. And so I was like, oh, I'm like the big kids. And yeah, that's all I really remember. I don't remember much else. Other than that, there was a girl named Jaylene in my class. I was like, oh, that's cool. We can be friends. Our names are similar.
I mean, that's how we worked out. So
yeah, we didn't. Me and Jaylene didn't.
Oh, you didn't work out.
No,
I actually doesn't work for everyone, guys. Oh, wait, what? We need the story.
So me and Jaylene sat across. So like the way our desks were set up, there was like one desk here and then one desk across from you and one desk next to you. Mm-hmm. And my mom had given me peanut butter crackers for lunch. That was like, and like probably like a vegetable or something. I don't really remember. But like that was all. Like I didn't have like a sandwich from what I remember. I probably did. But Jaylene had a severe peanut allergy.
Oh.
And I was like, I opened my snacks and she was like, "What's that?" I was like, "Peanut butter crackers." And she was like, "You can't eat that." And so then I went down to the cafeteria, got some lunch.
Wait, so when did you almost kill her?
I just had peanut butter crackers. That was the story.
Oh, you like actually almost killed her. I thought you meant like emotionally you were angry at her. Like, no, you physically almost killed this girl.
Like if
that was a plot twist I was not expecting.
Yep. That's that story.
Wow.
Do you remember the first lie you ever told?
Oh my word. That is such a good one. I do.
Well, tell us. Okay. I remember mine.
So there were two moments. I remember one is this like the smaller story. So I don't remember exactly what I did, but I do remember the guilt afterwards because I was riding in my car and it was raining and I had my head looking out the window, looking at the raindrops drop, like chasing them. And I was like, I'm a terrible human. I just lied. My parents are gonna find out. And I was like, who am I? What am I doing with my life? So I remember like feeling the guilt, but then I remember this one story, and since then I don't think I've told like a purposeful lie, because I was like felt so guilty, and I promised myself, I was like, Jaden, you are never gonna tell a lie again.
I want to know what this
so
lie was.
I was in Sunday school, okay? Like the
Sunday
worst of the
school.
worst places to tell
girl.
the lie. And my Sunday school as a kid was like Bible like class in school, like full on. Like we had papers of like things we filled out, we memorized verses, we like, it was in depth. And so the teacher had us take like a quiz, I guess, like we were graded on stuff, and it was about Esther. And so she had like facts written on the board and then on the paper. And so I walked into the class and I flipped the paper over to like just look at what it was, because I didn't know. And then she like made an announcement to the class, and she was like, students, don't you dare flip over your papers. Like she was really strict. She was like, don't you flip over the papers, it is not allowed. And so I like quickly flipped back over, and another girl did it too, and we were both like staring. We were like, oh, I hope she didn't see, because she was like kind of scary. Like she's sweet. No, so then I'm answering the questions on the quiz, and no, sorry, she asked a question in the class. She goes, does anyone know what Esther's name means? Anyone? And I raised my hand and I was like, Esther means star. And she goes, did you look at your paper for that answer? Like she was like dead serious. And I was like, no, I just knew. And she was like, wow, well done. And like I got a good grade on the thing, and like I was the only student that knew it. And afterwards in my heart, I literally was like, what have I done? Like I cheated on this test. Felt so bad. And I remember being in my room like folding clothes, and I remember feeling like I needed to tell her, and like it was on my heart. You were
folding clothes at that age?
Yeah.
That's wild.
But I remember being like, I need to tell her, it's the right thing to do, and I never did. And I thought I was gonna be like a terrible human the rest of my life because I didn't tell her. And I think I actually sent her, I think I either wrote her a letter or sent her an email, or didn't actually send it, because like I wrote out just apologizing.
Oh, that's so sweet, though.
That was my first lie, and it was traumatic.
I think mine was in school. We know I had anger issues, and I was aggressive. And this is the only time it ever happened. I bit somebody. I think it was
bit someone.
I think it was my best friend now that I did. Well, one of my best friends. And she told the teacher, and the teacher like asked me, I was like, no, I didn't do that. Why would I do that? And then like it was lunchtime. We had specifically my favorite lunch ever from the cafeteria. It was pizza and pineapple.
Interesting. Oh, well.
Separate.
Yeah.
Separate. Cheese pizza and pineapple. And I could not eat my pizza at all. And I like had like so much guilt. And I was like, I don't feel well. I was like, my stomach hurts. And so, like, all that also, like, my stomach didn't actually hurt. Like, that was just, like, I need to get out of this place. Yeah. And they called my mom, and she came and talked to me. She was on campus because, like, she worked there. And she was like, I can't take you home. She was like, I have to coach. So, like, you got to suck it up and, like, move on. And I was just, like, so traumatized. I was like, I did this. And I just told a lie. I was like, I can't fess up to it because I'm supposed to be the good girl. So I was like, I just...
That's so bad. Yeah. Oh my word.
That's that story. And to this day, I like, this is not really like about the story at all, but like that pizza and pineapple, I still remember exactly what it tastes like.
Really? Well, yeah. It's funny how like your memory will remember a situation, and then you'll like look at food or something, and it just brings you right back to it. It's crazy. I was another one that's not really a lie, but I guess it was, which is a funny story. I actually just told my parents like 2 days ago about it, because I don't think they actually knew, but me and Jocelyn were fighting over this doll, and I was kind of like a bratty sister growing up. Like I was mean. I was kind of a mean older sister. I used to like blackmail her, and it was terrible. But she had this doll, and I wanted it. And it was hers, but I kept telling everyone it was mine. I told my parents because we were fighting, and she was like, Jaden stole my doll. And I was like, no, it's my doll. What are you talking about? And she was like, no, it's not. And my parents didn't know because like they couldn't remember whose doll it was. So previously, my dad had just told us the story in the Bible about, you know, the two moms and the baby.
No.
And how the real, like, the one of the moms was pretending it was her baby, but it was the real mom. And so my dad, I knew where he was going. I knew what he was going to do because, yeah, he's a pastor. Like, he likes to put in, like, I mean, just as our dad in general, he loves putting little stories into, like, teaching lessons. And so I knew where it was going because you went, girls, he goes, do you, I forget what he did, but he goes, okay, whose baby doll is it? And I knew in this story, so I over-exaggerated, like, had a full-on fit, like, pretending to cry like it was my doll. And Jossie, of course, didn't know where it was going, so she was just like, oh, it's my doll. And I was, like, throwing a fit, and my dad was like, Jaden's showing more, like, emotion and stuff. Like, it's her doll. Joss, give it up.
That's so funny.
It was so bad. And, like, I won. But I'd consider it a lie because I knew it. In my head, I was like, yes.
My gosh.
I read his mind. I knew it. Like, I played him. Like, I played him. It was so bad. And Jossie was, like, so sad because, I mean, her doll is now mine. And I was so bad. But
oh, my gosh. That reminds me. There's this one, like, every year we go through this same battle in my house. There's this one homemade ornament that is literally the ugliest thing ever. But I know that I made that ornament, but my youngest sister, Olivia, also thinks that she made it. And every year we, like, trade boxes. Like, we have our own boxes of ornaments, and so it always ends up in someone else's box because to see who claimed it.
Yeah.
I know that I made that ornament. I made it.
Are you gonna, like, take ornaments and stuff when you, like, get married?
Oh yeah, for
sure. Are you gonna take it?
We'll see. It's really ugly. It's really ugly. So I don't know.
Like, I just want credit that it's mine.
I just want everyone to know that I made it. But yeah,
that's funny. My mom still has our, like, ugly ornaments that we made when we were a kid because they have sentimental value. She's like, we're never getting rid of this one. I'm like, you can keep it, okay?
Well, here you go.
Take it.
Yeah. Did you get new ornaments, like, every year?
Yeah.
From, like, we do that, and it's just so funny because, like, my mom used to pick them for the longest time, and then we started pick them, and it used to be, like, things that represent the year, but I started picking them, and it's just, like, cool geometric shapes.
For your future house.
Yeah.
That's funny. As you get older, it's like all the gifts your parents used to give you, you just pick them out. Now, like, for Easter and stuff, my parents, like, got us Easter baskets every year, and now, like, they still, like, do it, except they'll be like, okay, what do you guys want? And Joss and I will either just, like, have a budget and we'll go to the store, or, like, we'll just be like, gift cards. So like, put gift cards in there, but it's funny, like, as you get older.
Yeah, my mom always has such a fun time with Easter and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first YouTube video?
Yeah, I do. Jalen and I, it was, like, a thing in middle school to start a YouTube channel. So I think me, Jalen.
It was only us two.
No, there were 4 other kids.
Oh, there were
4 other kids in our class started YouTube channels, and we all did it at the same time. Because one of them, he was interpreting us in our YouTube channels. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I think it's still on YouTube.
No, I'm trying to think of what was my intro. Oh, I know. It was "What's up? It's your girl J Bay." Because my channel was J Bay Grace, I think.
And you got it from, what's her name? You were obsessed with her as a kid. She used to be like, what's up, coming at you. What was her name?
Oh, Liza Koshy.
Was it Liza?
Yep.
I thought it was someone else, but maybe it was Liza.
She was
Liza.
like, you.
Yeah, and you
no. It was I Superwoman.
Yes.
Yep.
That was so funny. Yeah, I can't remember my intro, but I just actually found, so I deleted a bunch of them, but I kept one intro video, and it's so bad. I'm wearing, like, a black bow choker, and I have braces, and my hair's, like, in a side part, and I was like, it's so cringy. It's so bad, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. Maybe we should expose ourselves at some point.
Should we just, I don't know if we should.
No,
I don't know if I could bring myself to do that.
Oh my goodness. On our YouTube channel, when we have our YouTube channel, we'll do a reacting too.
That would be so funny. You still have yours, right?
I have some of them.
I wish I kept all of them, but I have the one, and it's...
I did a morning routine one. Like, one of those really, like, basic, like, so bad. I think I deleted that one because it was so bad. I did, like, a book tour for, like, when I was homeschooled, and so, like, I had all my bins. I was like, this is my history book. I don't remember what else the other one, because I know I did a couple, but I don't remember. Yeah. But it was wild. It was so cringy.
The funny thing is that, like, all of us in middle school supported each other. It was like 6 subscribers. It was all of us subscribing to each other's channels. And we were like each other's biggest fans. It was funny, but.
This is so bad. Hindsight? You.
That would actually be funny. We should totally react to them.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, that was the first YouTube.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Anything else? Oh, do you remember your first PG-13 movie?
I do remember my first PG-13. I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I do. So, my first PG-13 movie was Everything, Everything. I don't know if I feel like it was really popular at the time. It's like the girl that's stuck in her house because she's sick. She's not allowed out, but then she meets a boy, and then they go on like a trip together, and they fall in love, and all of that. But I went to see it with my mom. And it was like a girl's day because I really wanted to watch it. And she was like, okay, I think you're old enough to go see it. Like, I'll go watch it with you. I think that's as far as I want to go with this.
No.
No, okay.
Dude,
the way I was telling Jalen
about your menstrual cycle in the last
Okay,
episode.
I was telling Jalen, well, I don't mind sharing. I will share literally anything. It's just funny.
Except for this.
No, not this. It's just funny because, like, I don't know. But anyways, so obviously it's PG-13, right? You know it's in PG-13 movies. You got, like, language. You got, like, some of, like, the steamy scenes. Blah, blah, blah.
Some saucy stuff.
All of that. So we went to go see it. And I remember, like, I didn't know what to do because, like, when you grow up, obviously, like, Jill and I have shared that we're Christians, right? So there's certain, like, rules and stuff.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
So, like, when you're watching a movie and it has, like everything, like language, all this stuff in it, you're just sitting there and you're like,
you don't know what to do.
You're like, what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. I felt so uncomfortable because, like, my mom was with me too, so it was like, oh great. And then I remember the whole movie. There was this one dad that I think like took his daughter and her 2 friends with them. He snored so loud the entire movie. And of course, it's all these like 12, 13-year-old girls movie. They're all giggling, they're all laughing, they're all like, oh my goodness, this is so cute.
And Jaden's getting traumatized.
And I'm just like sitting there like this, like, what do I do? And then the dad behind me snoring, and it was wild. But I remember loving it. I went back in the car.
That's not a bad story at all.
It's not a bad story. It's just funny thinking about it. I feel like I'm just like being vulnerable, sharing like how awkward of a child I was.
No, we were all awkward. I guarantee I can. Oh my goodness. So this does not have to do with that, but my first, like, I actually cut my hair by myself. First time cutting your hair.
Oh my word.
Yeah, I gave myself bangs. My mom was very adamant that I did not do it, but I said, no, I can do this. And I gave myself bangs, and they were actually good, and my mom hated it because she wanted me to learn my lesson.
Do you have a picture?
Yeah, probably somewhere.
So if this whole YouTube thing works out, we gotta put the picture. I'm sure it great.
So here's what I did though.
Okay, what'd you do?
So I curly hair queen. So instead of like, I did side bangs because I would always part my hair to the side or whatever. So I did side bangs because that was the thing back then. Which no one has side bangs anymore.
No one does. I don't think. That's actually wild. I don't think anyone does.
Oh my gosh. I'm shook. Anyway, I straightened those pieces.
You remember that?
Oh, I know one of my school pictures. I have them straightened, and we can use that one.
Yes.
Maybe we'll post it on the Instagram too, because like we're all awkward as children. It's fine. But yeah, so I did that, and it turned out great, and now I cut my hair quite often, just cause.
I mean, it looked good. No, when you said awkward, I remember the school picture day. I didn't know it was school picture day. And so Juliana, you've heard her on the podcast before. She's Heather's sister. She like doesn't wear her hair down really. She like doesn't really wear like jewelry or anything and all that. So
I remember this now.
So I walked into school and I like literally took a shower that morning, threw my hair up in a bun, and this was the stage where like I kind of had curly hair to where it was just like frizz basically, and I had braces and glasses. It was just an awkward phase. And so I walk into school and I look at Juliana, and she has her hair in like a side ponytail, earrings.
Yeah, and she never wore earrings. We made like those earrings,
dangly earrings. Yeah. And I walked in and I was like, I thought I was in a dream. I was like, Juliana? I was like, what? What's going on? Like, why are you dressed up? And she was like, Jaden, it's school picture day. And
she's like, my mom made me wear this.
I was like, what? I don't know if I should expose myself. If we post the picture of Jalen,
yeah, we're posting your picture.
I will post it. It was so bad. I look so awkward.
That was the same year, I think.
I think it was, actually. You look so good. I look terrible. But it's so funny. But yeah, I forgot it was school picture day, and so awkward, but it's okay.
Yeah. That was a fun time. Any other firsts?
I think that's all of them.
I can't think more first in life. This would have been a good episode to do with our sisters, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true.
We should do something along these lines with them.
We should. That would be really fun.
Make them answer. We'll just like kind of be in the background and they'll do all the talking.
Yeah.
They'd have fun with that.
They would. Okay, we'll put that on
that's on the list now.
The schedule. But,
But yeah, so that was all our first, most of them. It was a fun episode to film. I had a lot of fun with it. So that was part 2. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram.
Yep.
It's What a Life Pod. My Instagram is Jalen_Hannah.
And mine's Jaden_Noel.
_. You have 2 underscores.
Oh, yeah, I do. Jaden_Noel_.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaden_Noel is taken. There's an imposter out there. Someone's pretending to be Jaden. And yeah, but it's okay.
But yeah, that was the episode. What a life.
What a life.